Okay, this was our introduction lesson to area and volume, just reviewing area and starting to look at the volume of some three-dimensional objects. So this needs to go down in your notes if it isn't already. The area, a definition of area would be the amount of space inside a two-dimensional object, which is why we have answers that are squared. So it's going to be units squared, such as inches squared, centimeters squared, kilometers squared, all of that. And that has to do with the fact that when we're measuring length, we have, say, 7 inches. That's one-dimensional. But when we put in that second dimension, and let's say this is 2 inches, then we take 2 inches times 7 inches. That's 2 dimensions. And so we have 14 inches squared as our area. Okay, some usual shapes that we know the area of. Area of a rectangle is base times height, length times width, whatever you want to call it. Angle of a triangle is, or area of a triangle is 1/2 of the base times the height, because a triangle is half of a rectangle. And then the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared, where the radius is the distance from the center of the circle to the outside. So that was just some review notes on area. Make sure those are down in your notes come assessment time. So to find the area of different kinds of shapes, we had a figure here that was kind of misfigured. We could either split it, so we split it here and we found the area of this section and added it to this section. We could split it here and find the area of that section plus this section. Or we also found that we could find the area of the larger rectangle and then subtract a smaller rectangle that is cut out. Any way you cut it, you have 107 inches squared for the area of this figure given on this slide. Here we had the original figure that kind of had a rectangle and a triangle coming off of it. So we split it into a rectangle and then a triangle, found the area of each, and added them together. So 21 centimeters squared, 84 centimeters squared gave us 105 centimeters squared. You can work through something like that for practice if you'd like. And then we moved on to volume. Volume is the amount of space within a three-dimensional object. And because of those 3 dimensions, now we used units cubed to label our answers. Okay, there are 3 dimensions now, so we have a cubed exponent, or an exponent of 3. And the basic premise here is that we take the area of the base times the height, or times the length, depending on how your prism falls. And we can see that in each of these, the highlighted section is the base, and the highlighted part of the equation, base times height, gave us the area of a rectangle. And so now we just take the area of that rectangle times that third dimension, which is the length or the height, whatever you choose to call it, and now we have the volume. Same thing with the triangle. 1/2 base times height is the area of the base triangle, and then we take that times the third dimension, the length, and we have the volume. And then finally, on the circle, on the cylinder, we have the surface area of a circle is pi times r squared times that third dimension L, and that gives us the volume. So there's 3 dimensions in volume. And so in this rectangular prism, the area of the base, 5 times 5 is 25, times the height, 10, gives us 250 units cubed. The base here, 4 times 7, and then times 20, gives us 560 units cubed. Here we have a triangular base, so we take 1/2 the base times the height, and then we take that times the length, or times the prism height, and we get 360 centimeters cubed. For this 3-dimensional object with kind of 2 shelves, we went over, we could cut this figure here and find the area of this figure and this figure. So that would be, this top figure would have, this is 8, would be 3 times 8 times 2. And this bottom figure would be 6 times 8 times 4.